Hi there, Martin here. Thank you for joining me for another project video. I hope you're all well. Thank you very much for all of your comments on the previous videos. I'm getting round to replying to those as soon as I possibly can, or as much as I can. Now, you would have seen in Turner's Journey episode 22 last Friday that today I'm going to be turning a Banksia Pod, and also I mentioned that I'm going to be filming from different angles. Well, the two cameras I bought from China for next to nothing have arrived, and they are rubbish. Frankly, they are absolute rubbish. They're nowhere near HD quality. But then, you know, I paid a pittance for them. It said HD. You know, you take a stab and you have a go, and it didn't work. Anyway, so today I'm filming with my normal camera, which is this one here, and also the phone, which is over here, over there. So please do leave a comment in the box below and let me know what you think of it, and if there's anything that you would like me to improve or anything like that. So this week, a few weeks ago, I was sent a Banksia Pod by a gentleman called Paul Relf, who turns quite a lot of Banksia Pods, and I don't. We've been chatting on Facebook a little bit, and so I must say a big thank you to Paul for sending me the Banksia Pod, and this is what it has turned into. It was going to be a box, so the beginning of the video is all about the Banksia Pod becoming a box, but I chickened out of trying to turn it into a box and went for an objet d'art instead. I had some problems with it. Mainly the resin and the metal infill. It's filled with bronze and brass, and then polished, cut back and polished, sanded back to 12,000 grit, and it's come up okay. I am happy with it because I don't turn Banksia Pods very often. In fact, this is only the second one I've ever done. So I am actually quite pleased with how it has turned out. I've learnt a lot by doing it. So without further ado, here is, what am I going to call it? Banksia Pod Bling, or Banksia Bling. There we go. Banksia Bling. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again on Friday for Turner's Journey episode 23. But for now, here is Banksia Bling. So I've got the Banksia Pod, and I've cut the ends off, as Paul recommended I do, to find the pith of the pod. Now this end, the pith is nice and centred, I hope you can see that, but at this end it's not particularly well centred, so I don't think it matters that I turn it off the pith. It shouldn't do, I don't know, but you can also see in here all of the annoying fluffy stuff that is kind of characteristic of these pods, and so I think I really need to turn down past that, but I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I obviously need to get it round, so I need to put it between centres, but other than that I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Well, I know roughly what I'm going to do with it, but as for the shape, I don't know, I haven't got a clue. I don't know. So, with the pod between centres, I think I've decided I'm going to turn a little box with an integral finial. So I want I've put it between centres with the centred pith on the left and the off-centre pith on the right. So on the right hand side I'm going to put a tenon for the box, for the bottom of the box, and on the left I'm going to put another tenon for the top of the box, which will go into the finial. And I've got it so it's turning fairly round, or fairly squarely. There is the little bend in it which I'm not going to worry too much about. So the tenon on the right hand side is going to be for the bottom of the box, and the tenon on the left hand side is going to be for the top of the box, and then I need to get it round and then we'll take it from there. So with the piece in between centres, everything's locked down. I've got a glove on my right hand, only for the roughing down stage, because inside the pod there are lots of little seeds, and when they come flying out they hurt. So I've got a glove on purely just for the roughing down stage, just on my right hand. So I'm going to speed the lathe up, and I've got my full face mask on as well. Very light cuts to get started. It's coming down nice and round. I'm quite liking the fluffy bits. And I think most of the pods have flown out. I'm going to take it down a little bit more, I think. Yeah, I'm going to take it down a little bit more, just to see if we can get through a little bit more of this fluff, and then put the tenon on the ends. Right, now it's in the chuck, and it's running nice and true. I've changed the tool rest to the nice small one, the 6-inch one, and I'm going to put, actually no, I've changed my mind. I'm actually going to, well, I think I've changed my mind. I'm going to turn an objet d'art with a ball. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn an objet d'art with a ball-shaped bottom into a nice pointy finial top, mainly because I haven't got enough experience with Banksia pods, so that's what I'm going to do. The bowl gouge is a little bit too big for what I need to do, so I'm going to take the spindle gouge, nice and sharp, to form the ball bit, and then the rest of it. I need to part it off somewhere, so I'm going to part it off there. Right, I'm quite happy with this bit here with the ball, and so now I'm going to work on the smaller ball shape that's about halfway up, and then going into the finial on the right hand end. Okay, now I need to take the tailstock away now, which will enable me to put the top of the finial on. And then hopefully it won't break. It's a bit wobbly, so I'm going to have to be really careful with it. Oh dear, I've lost the end. It appears that the pith of a Banksia pod is quite soft. So, little bit of a redesign. I'll make this bit into a pointy bit then. Oh dear. Now I've managed to turn a shape that I'm quite happy with. I've got to take tweezers and go through each of the little holes on the piece and pull out all the little thingies, all the little seed pods and stuff, before I can finish it and fill it with the copper, brass and bronze. I think I'll do all three, but we'll see. So, okay, I've got the Zap Epoxy 5-minute resin here, and I'm going to squeeze out. Am I going to squeeze out? Because it is cold in the workshop today, so I'm really going to have to push hard. Now I've got the... the way I'm going to do it on the piece, I'm not going to need equal amounts of the metal and epoxy mixture. So I'm using more bronze than brass, and I'm just putting the sintered powder onto the resin and mixing it in to create a paste, and it's the paste I'm going to use to fill the holes in the Banksia pod. Right, so there's the bronze, and probably won't need so much brass. And it is chilly in the workshop today, so I'm in order to get as much, or in order to make the stuff flow nicely, I'm going to have to warm up the hardener to get it out of the bottle, which isn't ideal because the warmer it is, the quicker it sets. Right, I've warmed up the hardener, so it should come out nicely. Oh yeah, there we go. Now I need an equal amount of hardener to resin, but I generally put in a little bit more hardener so it sets quicker. That'll do. And then mix it all up. Now I'm only doing one of the metals at a time here, so whoops. So this is the bronze. I've got gloves on as well because this has the potential to get a bit messy, and I'm scooping up the remaining powder that didn't go in originally So there it is, and I'm literally going to slap it on, well, not slap it on, but all over the bottom of the piece, so it fills up or gets into the holes, or the main holes of the piece, and then it's going to turn into brass on the right hand end. Okay, it's been about an hour. I went inside and I had some lunch, and the resin is dry now, at least on the outside. It should be done on the inside as well. So now I can cut it back with the spindle gouge to reveal how nice and pretty it looks on the inside. So let's speed up the lathe. And see what happens. I'm taking very light passes just to I'm good with that. I'm happy enough now to start sanding. So I'm going to take it down to a long way actually, but I'll come back to you when I get down to 600 grit. Finally down to 600 grit now, and it's coming up quite well. I hope you can see that. Okay. I'm quite pleased with it so far. Now, there's a couple of places where it's sunk a touch, but as an experimental piece it's come out well. Right, now I really want to try and get the metal shining more than it is at the moment. So I'm going to use these, I can't remember what they're called, but these pads for polishing acrylics. So I'm going to use those and go all the way down to 12,000 grit, which is quite severe, but hopefully it will make the metal in the resin shine up a bit more. So I will do that with an oil lubricant and see how we get on. So let's start with the first one, which is the rust coloured one, which is 1500 grit. A little bit of oil. Don't need an awful lot of oil. Right, and I'll go through this all the way down to 12,000, making sure I wipe off the piece in between pads. So let's just have a quick look at that one. Yeah, that's coming up. That's coming up. So that's 1500. Now the next one is the green, which is 1800. But I'll go through all these down to 12,000, and then we can put the finish on it. I've got the lathe spinning fairly quickly, and I've got a prototype of Hampshire sheen, which at the moment is quite flaky, but it will produce a very bright, or a fairly bright gloss, which I think pen lovers are going to enjoy. But I'm still working on it. here we go. We're done finally. It's taken hours to do this, but then there has been quite a lot to it, as you've seen in the video. Little objet d'art, very much an experiment again, as you are quite familiar with my turnings. So I'm going to say a big thank you again to Paul Relf for sending me the Banksia Pod in the first place. I hope you like what I've done with it, Paul. Let me know. And that's it for this week, folks. I've got another project video lined up for next week, which I'm looking forward to. So please do like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll look forward to seeing you again on Friday for Turner's Journey episode 22. No, episode 23. Just looking over there on the clapperboard. Yeah, episode 23 coming up on Friday. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I will see you all again. Thanks. Bye for now.